chirping. Dylan went and bought food for the geckos today, and I'm sitting in the room that they are. So you're going to hear geckos through this whole thing. Or not geckos, you're going to hear crickets through this whole thing, unless they get really, really hungry and eat all the crickets while we do our class. So while we wait to make sure that everybody gets on board, you may want to go get a bowl of water to rinse your sponge out with, or I will just pause in between and people could go wash out their sponge. So either grab a bowl of water or we'll just pause in between steps and you can go wash your sponge out. Okay. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes here because it's not even 7 o'clock yet, and make sure that everybody who has their kit and is joining us is all set and ready. So we'll give it another minute or two. And again, I apologize for the crickets. So I want an opinion from you guys. Would you rather do these as Zoom? Has anybody used Zoom? It's sort of like a video conferencing, so you'd be able to see me and I'd be able to see you. Would you rather do these classes as Zoom classes or continue to do them as Facebook Live? So throw a comment up and let me know, because I can't see you guys. I can only just read the comments that you end up throwing up there. All right, we'll give it like 1 or 2 more minutes because we keep having people pop in and pop out. So we'll give it another minute or two, and then we will start. Sorry, geckos were making noise. All right. So in your kit, you should have gotten a bowl, one of 2 sizes, depending on what you purchased. 4 colors of paint, red, and I promise this will be red, like a limey green, a dark green, and black. You should have also gotten a paintbrush, which we won't need till the end, a wedge of sponge, and a plate. So first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to try and only use one side of my plate so that I can work in 2 colors at once. So first thing you're going to do is pour some of your red paint onto one side of your plate, and almost this whole project is going to be done with the sponge, and with specifically with the round side of the sponge. So you ended up with a wedge. You're basically going to use this side. So the first thing we're going to do, and let me show you a little bit first and then you could come back, is we're going to sponge red paint. Let's see, I have such a hard time with this. There we go. Okay, so we're going to sponge red paint all over the inside, but you're going to leave about that much white rim around the inside. Okay, so you're just going to go along and sponge the red paint in there, and this first coat excuse me, is going to suck up into the bowl really, really quickly. And you don't have to have that edge perfect because it's supposed to look like where the red and the rind come together. So so it doesn't have to be like perfectly straight or anything like that. And you actually want it a little bit Yeah, not perfect. That's why we're doing it with the sponge versus painting it, because I think it comes out a lot more realistic looking if you do it with a sponge. Okay, so like I say, you're going to do the whole inside. With your red paint. And when you're done, it should look like that. Okay. And this is already dry, where it's shiny is still wet. So we're going to give it a minute to dry. This first coat, like I said, will dry really, really quickly. We're going to end up doing 3 coats. We're going to do 3 coats on everything except for the last step. But we're going to let that dry for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to put a second coat on the inside. Okay. Excuse me. So as soon as that stops being shiny, like I have a couple of wet spots right there, as soon as that stops being shiny, we could put a second coat on. This project goes really quickly. It's sort of funny when we're in the studio and we're trying to teach something or whatever, and people are waiting like till the absolute last little bit is dry. You don't have to worry yourself with that too much, especially with a project like this. All right, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to go right back over that exact same area a second time. And this time it's going to take the paint a little bit longer to dry. But it also makes seeing where you painted already a little bit easier to see. I've kind of run out of paint. I'm going to grab a little bit more paint. That's why we gave you 2 of the main colors, 2 containers worth of each of the main colors. All right, everybody doing all right? Going all right? Give me some thumbs up, something, let me know. Let me know that's going all right. All right, so there's my second coat, and it's already starting to dry, but this coat's gonna take a little bit longer to dry, okay? So what we're gonna do for time's sake, and because you can, is we're going to wash out the sponge. Now, I went and got a bowl of water so that I didn't have to walk away from the camera. But if you didn't go get a bowl of water, you could just go to your nearest sink and just wash out your sponge. Try and get as much of the red out of there as you can, and then give it a really good squeeze. Okay, so it's back to being pretty clean. So I'm going to, do I have any paper towels up here? Okay, didn't get myself any paper towels though. So I will be right back. Hang on, just gonna go get a couple paper towels. Okay, sorry. I was waiting to do that. I knew sooner or later I'd do that. And this is why they don't let me have the nice things. All right, well, Hang on. Now I got red paint all over the side. Okay, that's right. It's all fixable. It's the beauty of glaze is it washes off everything. All right, so I'm going to assume that everybody now has washed out their sponge. We're going to take the limey green and put that out. And with this one, we are going to do the entire outside, okay? Same process, and I'm going to leave this lip white, but I'm going to go all the way up to it. So I'm going to go like that, right? All the way up to the lip, but not over it. And again, you're going to cover the whole thing. And like I said, if you're not familiar with working with ceramic glazes, these will wash out of anything. So until we fire it, it is completely water-based and washable. Okay, so like if it gets on your furniture or your clothes or your kid or your cat, don't worry about it. It's going to wash off. So like I said, this should be a quick process. You don't have to be terribly particular about it, right? Because first of all, the rind on a watermelon is splotchy and stuff anyway. And you either can leave the bottom unpainted or you can paint it. We will coat this with clear glaze, and so that part will be white and shiny if you leave it unpainted. So I just happen to be leaving mine unpainted. Any questions? Comments? Going too fast? Going too slow? Let me know. And I did ask earlier, I don't know how many people were on when I asked it. If you guys would rather, whoops, I got a little dab of red in there. If you guys would rather do these classes as Zoom videos instead of Facebook videos. If you're not familiar with Zoom, it's like a conferencing. Basically, you would give me your email address and I would invite you to the meeting. And then if you have your camera on, you'd be able to see me and I'd be able to see you and you'd be able to talk and interact. So if you would prefer to do things, oh, we like lost a whole bunch of people, don't know why. If you would rather be able to interact, we could do these as Zoom. Can you guys like throw up some hearts or thumbs up or something and let me know that everybody is still there, because I'm looking at the number of people and we just like lost half the class and I want to make sure that everybody's there. Is everybody still connected? Everybody still on? Good. Like some thumbs up, something. There we go. Okay. All right. So you guys can still see me. You're on. Okay. So I did my first coat of the green all the way around, and as you can see, it's already dry and dusky. There's maybe one wet spot right there, and I think that had more to do with my hands being wet than the paint being wet. So I am going to put a second coat of the green, and I think at this point I probably need some out of the second container of green. So just like we did a second coat on the inside, we're going to do a second coat on the outside. Okay. Am I going too fast or anything? You guys got to use the comment box, because like so that I can, if I'm going too fast or too slow, or I'm boring you to death, or the crickets are making you crazy, So just throw stuff up in the comment box if you have any comments. And once you've done this is so easy, right? So you could like make yourself a whole set of these, super easy. This is also the same way that you could do like a kiwi. We've done oranges and lemons, and we basically start the same way, but with those we just we draw wedges in. Okay, awesome. Thank you. A little fast, but I'm doing, oh, okay. Do one, Lisa, do one and then come back and do the other one, because it's, the video will stay up, but also, you know, there's no need to rush yourself. But yes, so you know, this technique is so easy and the results are really cute, and you can do it with so many things. Like I said, you could change the colors a little bit and turn this into a kiwi, you know, instead of having the red on the inside, have more of a goldish color. You could, like I said, do lemons and limes. I kind of lost where I started. There we go. Okay. Do lemons and limes by drawing, like doing a base color and then drawing yourself some wedges and then filling those wedges in with the sponge with a different color. So we have like a whole color. You could do it on plates. Like this would be a really cute, the watermelon would be a really cute as a big platter to actually serve your watermelon on, right? Okay. All right. So again, I am going to wash out my sponge, and I'll give you guys a minute to go if you need to go, if you didn't bring water over and you need to actually go run somewhere to wash your sponge out. So I'm going to give you a second to wash your sponge out. Who all is doing one of the other two classes, either the gnomes or the chrysanthemum plate? Anybody? Anybody? Those two are going to be fun. The clay is a lot of fun, a little messy. The chrysanthemum plate is another fun technique because the whole thing is done with your finger. So that whole design is all done with your finger. And it comes out so pretty. And then I don't know if you saw that today I posted the garden stakes. So that'll be next week's clay class. And then hopefully I'm going to try and figure out another little freebie for the kiddos to do again, because they really seem to have enjoyed the mini clay gnomes that we did. And, you know, we like showing the town how, or the community as a whole, not just the town, how appreciative we are for your continued support through this craziness. So we'll try and think of something else for the kiddos to do. All right, so I am going to put my last coat, my third coat of the red on the inside, which means I am probably going to have a boatload of paint left over. So as long as you keep this sealed, it will last for a good long time. So if you happen to grab another project at the studio, you know, hold on to these paints, because you'll be able to use them in your future projects, because they'll last for a long time. All right, so I'm just going back through and putting a third coat of the red on, because my red is nice and dry now on the inside. A little bit more. sure I don't have red paint on my hands getting it on the outside. All right, so we're going to try and get a third coat of the red on the inside. All right, so I have my third coat of red on the inside. And again, I'm going to wash my sponge out. Okay. And then, yeah, my paper towels are soaked at this point. That's not doing me a whole lot of good. All right, that's what jeans are for, right? Okay. All right. And then once you're done with your red, you're going to put one more coat of green on your outside. All right, so that everything is nice and fully colored. Now, you could, I mean, if you like the look of a little bit of white shining through, you can put fewer coats or definitely do it like more splotchy. This is going to give us pretty good coverage over the whole thing when it's fired up. So the green part will be, even though it looks like what's the word I'm looking for, like bouncy, splotchy, that'll all smooth out when we fire it for you. So but you could definitely, you know, this is, like I said, a technique that you can very much play with. So if you like having a little bit of white show through, you do it in a little bit more of a random splotchy fashion. All right, so now we have 3 on the inside and 3 on the outside. Okay, and when you're done with that, I would suggest taking a quick run to a sink and washing off your plate and your sponge. And like I said, it's completely water soluble. It's fine to rinse it down your sink or anything like that. So I'm just going to run really quick and just rinse this off, okay? Just try not to knock the water all over the place this time. Oh, almost did it again. Almost. All right, Emily, no problem. I can wait a few minutes. Emily says she's not quite done with the last green layer yet, but we'll give it a minute. It's only 2 more steps. So, you know, this whole thing has taken about a half hour, maybe. Like I said, it's sort of funny. In studio, people can take an hour and a half to do this. People make things so much more complicated than they need to be in the studio. Of course, we never want to rush anybody, but sometimes you don't need to be quite as persnickety about getting stuff done, you know, or letting it absolutely positively dry before you put that second coat on, or get that little detail so perfect, because they all come out wonderful in the end. When stuff is, once we fire it, like, we're always amazed at how beautiful people's stuff comes out. So, you know, don't ever be hard on yourself feeling like something doesn't look right, or you didn't, you know, that you didn't do it right, because there are no mistakes in art, right? Okay, Emily, how you doing? Are we like almost, you almost got that last layer done? Is it getting anywhere near dry? See, this is why it would be better for Zoom, because I'd be able to see if people, as long as people activated their cameras, I'd be able to see where they are in the, okay, Emily is ready. All right. Excellent. Ready, sticking with one bowl for now. There you go. Smart girl. All right. Okay, so now we're going to take some of the darker green, and we're going to put that on our plate. Okay. Now, this we're only doing one time, and this is going to be our stripes, right? So this I'm actually going to, I don't know if you saw what I just did. I dipped it in the paint, and then I kind of dabbed a little bit of it off, because this you want to be splotchy looking, sort of broken. And I'm literally just going to, you know, decide on the width of my stripe there, right? And intentionally sort of make it kind of random, you know, not be a totally straight line, have some roughness to the edge there, right? And I'm just going to keep running this around the whole bowl. Okay. This. See, now it's starting to look like a watermelon. Yay! There we go. Okay, spin my hands here. And you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. Right? And I think I can fit one more up in here. There we go. All right. Get it? So now it starts to look like a watermelon. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Just make sure I can read. All right. So literally one step left, and that's to add some seeds. This is actually where people tend to go a little overboard. This is definitely a case of less is more, I think, and trying to be somewhat random. Now, I'm going to see if I can try and the best way that I have seen to do. So if you put your black paint on your brush and you push and then pull, on here it is pulling up a little. Let me see, wait, I have a piece of paper. Okay, so if you get some paint on your brush and then you push it down and pull, you're going to get, that was not a good one because I'm doing it on paper and upside down. You're going to get sort of that teardroppy shape, which is what you're sort of after, versus, you know, doing something straight, or, you know, you're sort of after a teardrop. So if you push a little first before you pull, you're going to get that sort of teardroppy shape. And you could put them wherever you want. I tend to put them in the bottom, and I try to be random about it. So some may go in one direction, some may go sideways, some may go, so I try and change the direction of them and not do too many. Okay. And let me get a couple in here and I'll show you what I mean. It's so hard to be random because you start to see a pattern. Okay, sorry. Don't know what happened or why it ended my video. That was really weird, and I've never had that happen before. So weird. Hopefully you guys see that I like jumped back on. But if you didn't, at least we were at the last stage of just getting in the seeds, putting in some seeds. That was sort of where we were at. So there's my, so sorry. I have no idea why it dropped my live feed. Because I did one that was an hour and it didn't drop me, and this time it dropped me. But the last thing we needed to do was just add some seeds, and then you're done. Sugar and snaps. Now, I don't have my phone on me to get back into Facebook to tell people that I came back on live. But hopefully my people will see this and see that I'm back to being live, because I don't know why it dropped me. But hopefully we got you long enough for, oh, there we go. Everybody's back. I'm sorry. I don't know why it dropped me. It's never done that before. And I've when I did the kids one, it was like over an hour, and for some reason it dropped me. But I was just saying that, so random and in the bottom, I tend not to run them up the side, because if you think about a watermelon, the seeds tend to be towards the center for the most part. So basically you now have a finished watermelon bowl. So whenever you feel comfortable with bringing that back to the studio, we will get fired up for you. Now, assuming that everybody's is gonna kind of look the same, it would probably be a good idea to add your initials or a symbol or something that you will recognize on the bottom, so that we can distinguish what one is yours versus what one is everybody else's. And look, I just scraped my paint there. Not quite sure how I did that, but I'm going to fix it. There we go. All right, so that is our watermelon bowl project. And like I said, now that you know the technique, you can do this on anything. Look great on a platter, to hold your watermelon, on a plate. You could get everybody their own watermelon bowl. You could do it on a mug. We've done it on mugs, which is a lot of fun. We've done it on all kinds of things, because it's really cute for summer. Like, think about summer barbecue. Like, if you had like a whole place setting of like all your serving bowls or something were all watermelon bowls, they'd be adorable, right? All right, so sorry I got dropped, but thank you. And just again, a little quick reminder that we have the clay gnome coming up on Thursday night, and we have the mum plate coming up on Friday night. And then on next Monday, we're doing the clay garden stakes. And for the clay projects, if you're going to join us for that, the only thing that I would suggest is look around for stuff to use for texture, lace, stamps. I have some really cool like buttons. The back of a highlighter pen has this really cool like starbursty design that works really well. So look for that kind of stuff, because it'll give your piece that much more character. All right. So thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun. I hope you like your project. And like I said, whenever you want to drop it off at the studio, we will get that fired up for you. All right. Thank you. Good night. Okay. Sorry. Don't know what happened or why it ended my video. That was really weird, and I've never had that happen before. So weird. Hopefully you guys see that I like jumped back on. But if you didn't, at least we were at the last stage of just getting in the seeds, putting in some seeds. That was sort of where we were at. So there's my, so sorry. I have no idea why it dropped my live feed. Because I did one that was an hour and it didn't drop me, and this time it dropped me. But the last thing we needed to do was just add some seeds, and then you're done. Sugar and snaps. Now I don't have my phone on me to get back into Facebook to tell people that I came back on live. But hopefully my people will see this and see that I'm back to being live, because I don't know why it I don't know why it dropped me. But hopefully we got you long enough for, oh, there we go. Everybody's back. I'm sorry. I don't know why it dropped me. It's never done that before. And I've when I did the kids one, it was like over an hour, and for some reason it dropped me. But I was just saying that, so random and in the bottom, I tend not to run them up the side, because if you think about a watermelon, you know, the seeds tend to be towards the center for the most part. So basically you now have a finished watermelon bowl. So whenever you feel comfortable with bringing that back to the studio, we will get fired up for you. Now, assuming that everybody's is gonna kind of look the same, it would probably be a good idea to add your initials or a symbol or something that you will recognize on the bottom, so that we can distinguish what one is yours versus what one is everybody else's. And look, I just scraped my paint there. Not quite sure how I did that, but I'm gonna fix it. There we go. All right, so that is our watermelon bowl project. And like I said, now that you know the technique, you can do this on, you know, anything. Look great on a platter to hold your watermelon, on a plate. You could get everybody their own watermelon bowl. You could do it on a mug. We've done it on mugs, which is a lot of fun. We've done it on all kinds of things because it's really cute for summer. Like think about summer barbecue. Like if you had like a whole place setting of like all your serving bowls or something were all watermelon bowls, they'd be adorable, right? All right, so sorry I got dropped, but thank you. And just again, a little quick reminder that we have the clay gnome coming up on Thursday night, and we have the mum plate coming up on Friday night. And then on next Monday, we're doing the clay garden stakes. And for the clay projects, if you're going to join us for that, the only thing that I would suggest is look around for stuff to use for texture, lace, stamps. I have some really cool like buttons. The back of a highlighter pen has this really cool like starbursty design that works really well. So look for that kind of stuff because it'll give your piece that much more character. All right. So thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun. I hope you like your project. And like I said, whenever you want to drop it off at the studio, we will get that fired up for you. All right. Thank you. Good night.